My strange Mrs. Flood theory totally changes her Doctor Who Season 15 premiere cameo. Doctor Who recently kicked off its long-awaited 15th season with The Robot Revolution, an episode that took the Doctor on a dangerous adventure to rescue a nurse called Belinda Chandra from an army of dangerous robots who believe she's their leader. The episode raised many important questions about where Belinda's storyline will go throughout the rest of the season, with a strange time fracture playing a role in this Doctor Who story. However, Belinda's mystery isn't the only one that Doctor Who fans got an update on in The Robot Revolution. This season premiere brought back Anita Dobson's nosy neighbor, Mrs. Flood, who was living next to Ruby Sunday in the previous season. This time, however, the mysterious character has moved next to Belinda Chandra, proving that she has suspicious knowledge of whom the Doctor will cross paths with. This complicates the mystery of Mrs. Flood's true identity even further, but opens the door for one interesting theory. The truth behind Mrs. Flood's identity is still a complete mystery, and the Robot Revolution didn't make it any simpler. However, the fact that Mrs. Flood was present in both Ruby and Belinda's first episodes makes it much more likely that she's not really a single person, but several. This theory was born from the resolution of Susan Triad's identity at the end of Doctor Who Season 14, where it was revealed that she wasn't the same person traveling through time and space, but rather an entity that was created wherever they went. The same could be true about Mrs. Flood. She's been present since the very beginning of Ncuti Gatwa's tenure on the show, so it's likely that Russell T Davies has known her true identity since way back before Season 14 ever aired. His inclusion of Susan Triad could have been a hint towards the much larger mystery of Mrs. Flood, sowing the seeds in Season 14 so that the concept didn't seem so outlandish when it's revealed this season. The leading theory about Mrs. Flood going into Season 15 is that she's some kind of pantheon, as described by Sutekh at the end of the previous final. This would explain her link to Susan Triad, who was created by Sutekh and has direct connections to the pantheon as a whole. It's possible that these clones weren't a one-off trick used by Sutekh, but rather a general power that every member of the pantheon has, and Mrs. Flood has been created by a different. As many fans have already pointed out, the fact that Doctor Who is making such a big deal about Mrs. Flood makes it more likely that she's somebody longtime fans of the show will recognize. Of course, the logical follow-up question is which of the pantheon created Mrs. Flood. A handful of these were named in Empire of Death in the moments leading up to Sutekh's return, with new faces like Maestro mentioned alongside old foes like the Toymaker and the Mara. As many fans have already pointed out, the fact that Doctor Who is making such a big deal about Mrs. Flood makes it more likely that she's somebody longtime fans of the show will recognize. Ultimately, this theory is one of the easiest ones for Doctor Who to debunk. All the writers need to do is prove that Mrs. Flood physically moved from Ruby Sunday's estate to Belinda Chandra's. Even a simple throwaway line would be enough to dispel the idea that Mrs. Flood is multiple people, but until that point, it's entirely possible. Millie Gibson has been confirmed as part of Doctor Who Season 15's cast, so it's official that Ruby Sunday will be returning at some point in the upcoming episodes. When this happens, there's every possibility that she'll mention something about her neighbor moving away or taking a trip somewhere else, which would essentially leave this theory dead on arrival. But if she mentions that Mrs. Flood still lives next door, or if the character makes another appearance on Ruby's estate, that would lend credence to the idea that there are multiple versions that exist at the same time.